All right, today we are going to go check out Jaguar National Park. I've heard lots of rumors about, how much does it cost? What can you do? Do you have access to the beach? Things like that. And yesterday I actually met a Cuban guy who lives in Miami. He said the museum was second to none. I got to go check it out. So let's go do that today. So this is the pathway leading up to it. As you can see, it's very beautiful, lots of green. It is shaded, but I know it's like 11 o'clock. So I'm guessing after about 2 or 3, it's probably not shaded. But in the morning, it's still pretty nice. And I live over by where the Hilton Moto or the Mayan Monkey is at. It's taking me about 10 to 15 minutes to walk. So a nice shaded walkway most of the way. So, uh, you know, highly recommend walking to it if you're like in El de Azama or in this area. So here we are at the entrance of it. There's the tower. As you can see, there are taxis if you need to take a taxi here or get one home. But there's also a ride share app, which is InDrive, that I do recommend if you are going to use the taxi system. So here we have the first stop. This is Playa Manglar. So if you want to stop here, it's just the first stop. Here we have Playa Pescadores, another one of the stops here. This is Playa Santa Fe, another one of the beach access points. Here we have Playa Faro, another one of the stops here. All right, so here I am at the Conamp stop. As you can see here, there are some transportation buses waiting to take people to the beach areas. But since I'm going to the museum, I'm going to actually be heading the other way. So I'm waiting for that bus to get here. And one of the things I forgot to mention is the current rate right now is like it's like 400 pesos for foreigners, and all Mexican nationals are now free. But I'll provide a link to the map and more information on this video if you want to see more about, because it could change by the time you watch this video. All right, so here we are on the transportation now. Hopefully there's not too much wind. These buses leave about every 5 minutes, so I had to wait about 3 minutes till to get on my next bus. As you can see, it is a full bus, and we are now headed over. This is the road, the highway that leads from Playa del Carmen to Cancun. So as you've seen this overpass, this is what I'm currently passing, and this is one of the lookout towers, I believe. So I think that's what we're going to check out next. But since this is my first time, I will find out as soon as you do. So that was the plant where they're reforesting some of this area with plants that are indigenous in the areas you can see here. Since it's mostly rocks, they do have to provide spaces for water to accumulate. So this is what they're doing here in this part of the Jaguar National Park. All right, so far I've been pleasantly surprised. Now that tower you saw is currently under maintenance, so it's closed today. But we're gonna go check out the museum right now. All right, so here we are at the entrance to the museum. As you can see, it's very beautifully done. Lots of Mayan structures and architecture. So let's go check it out. So here we are in the Mayan Museum. As you can see, there's lots of different displays to check out. I'm gonna go look at these and I'll show you some really cool video. So here we have some of the animals that were in the peninsula 30 to 40,000 years ago. There is a giant sloth, and this thing looks like a turtle, but they said it's just a shelled or armored mammal. But it looks like a turtle to me. I don't know. What do you think? So basically, it's a giant armadillo, which actually makes more sense, especially being from Texas. I've never seen one that big, but you know, not everything's bigger in Texas, I guess. But here we have a tiger skull, and I believe that one, oh, that's a megalodon's tooth. Wow, crazy. So lots of cool stuff to see here at the museum. And here we have a replica of one of the Mayan gods. It's a regeneration of life it symbolizes there. One of the things I forgot to point out is you can take pictures and video, just no flash. So just key note there. Just remember that. Oh, and no water or no drinks or food inside of the museum area. All right, so this hall is super cool. Here we have first is the rings. I'm sure you may have seen the ball game on there. I forget what it's called. Here we have some creation myth pottery. Here we have the conqueror of the gods there. Here is one that you'll really love if you are a fan of ancient aliens. This is what commonly people talk about the Mayan astronomer, which anyone who's studied Mayan history will disagree, but if you're an ancient aliens fans, they always say yes. If you watch any of those episodes, they say yes to everything. Everything is ancient aliens, but really cool to look at, especially here in such detail. This is a replica of what you'll find in Palenque, but super cool. Here is what you'll see. I believe this is I'm not even going to try to say it. I'm not a Mayan expert, but you will see these at Chichen Itza and other places. A lot of people say that these were for human sacrifice, but a lot of the people that study Mayan culture and history say they existed much before the sacrifices started happening. So there's a big dispute on that. But a lot of just really cool Mayan replicas. So if you're into art and history, I definitely recommend checking this out. I really love the detail they put into everything, so you're able to see everything with detail. So really cool stuff. This is super cool. Also, this is a jade funeral mask. I've actually never seen one of these. I'm pretty sure it's a replica, but still looks pretty cool, along with some more pottery. But yeah, this is definitely a must-stop place if you want to visit. If you want to see lots of Mayan culture and history. So here we have some more Mayan pottery, and here's where I go off the deep end. I have a lot of conspiracies about the Mayans. Um, I don't believe that. Um, I don't know. I have a lot of questions because the Mayans are considered the water people, but if you look at Tulum, it's not really shaped like a port. So I think there were other cities that were probably underwater that we'll eventually find. But as of right now, this is what we have to base it off of their history. For such a huge culture to only have one port city does not make much sense to me. So I definitely believe here we can see a model of what they say it looked like, but I definitely think there was much more water in their way of living. But really cool stuff to check out if you like looking at pottery, if you like looking at history. Definitely come check this place out. And like I said, this is all in the second hall. And here we are at the entrance to the third hall. I did forget to tell you, it's the second. They do look closed. You just have to push them open, but this is what they look like from the outside. I did forget to mention that. I was a little lost. Luckily, the guy pointed out to me. So you just have to walk into there and push the door open. So little tip for you, so you don't have to experience what I did. And here we have some Mayan ores that they had. As I mentioned, they were Mayan means water people. So as I mentioned, there was lots of stuff that we still don't know about them. Even here with the metal, with the some of their metal works they had here, which, as you know, was a late part of their development as well as many cultures. But as I mentioned, I just feel the Mayans are there's still so much we don't know about them. So this is really exciting to see some of their pottery, see some of their art. So you definitely want to come check this place out. And here we can see a funerary offering. They're assuming that this was a high-ranking dignitary or somebody very important because he has not only a jaguar skin, but he also had a jade funerary mask along with necklaces, other beads and jewelry, as well as some metal and some pottery where he was buried. So pretty cool stuff to see all this. And here we have a map of some of the important Mayan cities, and this is just Quintana Roo. It doesn't even show Belize or Guatemala, so This is a massive culture. So as I said before, I think there's just so much about the Mayans that we don't know. We may never know. Unfortunately, the Spaniards destroyed a lot of their history and the people that kept their history. But here's a model of what the city of Tulum looked like. There you can see El Castillo. You can see the different sides. There's a lot of glare, so I realized, but hopefully you can see it. But come check it out yourself. You'll love it. It's totally worth it, even if it is the 400 pesos or whatever it is if you're a foreigner. But let's go check out more of this park. So this museum was totally worth it. Definitely come check it out. I didn't want to speak in the last part. It was really quiet in there, as you could hear. Everybody was reading, and it was just pictures of some of the the Mayans that still live in the area. Some of them were over 100 years old. So, everyone was reading their stories. So out of respect to them, I didn't want to speak in there, and respect to obviously the Mayan people. But um, yeah, you'll definitely enjoy it if you come to the museum. But let's see what else Jaguar National Park has to offer. All right, so I'm just here waiting for the transportation. Everything's been really good so far. Super easy. The transportation is pretty easy to understand. It's basically three overlapping routes, depending on where you came in from. If you're coming in from the train station, or the Tulum ruins, or if you're coming in from the the museum, or if you're coming in from the south port like I did. And basically, the south takes you all the way to the Tren Maya, or the ruins, and then the museum one takes you all the way to Faro, which is right here, and then the Faro one takes you all the way to the ruins one. So, or to the, but they're overlapping, so they come about every 3 to 5 minutes. And as I mentioned, I'm just waiting on mine, but really good experience overall. But um, but yeah, I do have other videos of the ruins, and I have videos of the beaches if you want to check those out. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments or shoot me a DM. So I forgot the last part of the tour, or it could be the first part of the tour, is the Mirador, and here we are. This is the watchtower that was made here in Tulum. It does have an elevator, but it's not working today, so I did have to climb all the way up here, but it is a beautiful view and completely worth it. There you can see the hotel zone. There you can see Tulum. There you can see downtown Tulum. So, very beautiful view. Highly recommend it. You can tell I'm a little bit out of breath, but worth the walk.